So today we're talking about co-oping, and co-oping, cooperation. Some people spell this CO-operation. You can spell it both ways. It's permissible. But I wanted to start off with a story about cooperation because we're talking about between agents, between competitors or fellow agents in the office. And my dad traveled a lot when he was selling bricks, and would always tell, I was like, Dad, where you been? Where you been for 5 days? What were you doing? Oh, I was in so-and-so. And I said, wow, you sold brick all the way there? He said, well, not really. He said, there's a smaller competitor that's in that market, and they landed a job where they could not fill the order. It was, I can't remember the numbers, let's say they could only produce 500,000 brick, and this order was for 1 million brick. So they called my dad because they knew his capacity could supply that order, because the one thing about bricks is, and with a lot of fabric and everything else, you want it to all be in the same run. So if they did 500,000 brick this day and next week baked another 500,000 brick, there's a chance, based on the color, that they may not look the same. Same thing with fabric. So we, Bickerstaff Bricks, would actually fill that entire order underneath the other small little brick manufacturer. So they wouldn't lose the business, but Bickerstaff would get the business for actually filling the order, and it keeps the plants running and is a great way to cooperate. The reverse thing would happen too. My dad would run into a client, and maybe they were building something and they wanted a special detailed brick product. We could make just about anything you wanted, but sometimes you can't. And so my dad would then go around to another competitor, and if they had that special detail, he'd contract directly with them, and they would cooperate. And that's something that the brick industry was known very well for, is all these small little companies cooperating with each other to get a deal done, and not trying to get the whole deal themselves. So when I looked up cooperation, this is from Wikipedia. Cooperation, sometimes written as cooperation, is the process of groups of organisms working or acting together for common or mutual benefit, as opposed to working in competition for selfish benefit. Okay, that's cooperation. Would you like to know what the real estate definition of cooperating is? One who agrees to share the commission with another broker. That is the definition. If you pull out a real estate dictionary, what is a cooperating broker? Someone who agrees to share a commission. Really doesn't say anything else. And so, if you don't dig a little deeper, that's all we really focus on is, you've agreed to share the commission, so I've got to do whatever I can to make sure that happens, right? Problem is, how can a buyer and seller end up disliking each other when they have never met? We've heard attorneys talk about having separate conference rooms, right? Putting the buyers, we don't want to see what they have on their side. The disclosures, they don't even let us see what's on the other party's side. These people haven't even really met. And they can't stand each other. And why is that? Can anybody give me a clue? Agents. We screw it up. We get in the way. That's true, I agree. So I want to give you all 3 tips for trying to be easier to work with. Not to get run over by another agent, but how to be easy to work with. And we've talked about this before. You've got to have an attitude of gratitude. Because if you don't have happiness or gratitude, the odds of you actually having it decrease. So if you have gratitude, happiness can drastically go up. Be grateful someone brought you an offer that's $100,000 less than what you're asking. Thank you so much for this offer. I really appreciate the opportunity to work with you. I don't know if we actually will get that chance, but I'll present it to my client. they're contagious. Attitudes are always contagious. That's why we try to create a positive environment. Because maybe someone will catch your attitude. Some people have no intentions of ever catching anyone else's attitude at all, ever. And sometimes they're trying to throw their attitude with a machine gun all over the place and spray their negativity. But if you have an attitude of gratitude, that can change things, not just for yourself, but for the other parties involved too. And you have to ask, is your attitude contagious? Is it worth catching? So personality and style. I really like this. It's not the matter you cover so much as the manner in which you cover it. A great example of this is something that's happening today, and maybe it's just because of technology. It could be the parents' fault for not raising their children right. I don't know what the answer is. But people just email you an offer, right? They don't even call. They don't even email and say, hey, Tom, I'm sending over your great offer, blah, 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 blah. See attachment below. They just email the offer as a PDF. Excuse me. Or through DocuSign. And I love DocuSign, but DocuSign, it still leaves you an opportunity to send a little message, not just the document. So people need to call the agent. Tom, hey, my clients are interested in your house on Broadway, and they're going to be offering not full price, but this is as much as they can afford without more assistance. You got to explain your offer. You got to present it in the best way that you can, because you have an obligation to do that. Because if you don't do that, you're not representing your client. And you're not going to get to the point where you have a chance to get paid a commission for cooperating. So, it may be an awesome offer. But if you don't present it well, it's not going to be received well. And we are problem solvers. Money is a reward for solving problems. Eddie Kirby just mentioned a problem I had no idea could even be solved. How would they do that in the old days? Meet me in the parking lot and I'll give you $700, $800, pay off that loan. I'm not saying I've witnessed that or participated. I've just heard stories and read articles. But you got to provide solutions. And so many times we attack, not us, people attack the person. You just bring me terrible offers all the time. What's wrong with you? Well, that agent's not buying the house. Maybe they have a whole basket full of terrible clients that write terrible offers. I don't know. But you got to work on the problem and attack it. What's the problem? Well, my client has a car loan. And if it's not paid off, they can't buy this house. You don't jump on the client for trying to buy a nice car and getting a loan for it and screwing up the deal. The problem is that item needs to be cleared off. So you got to work on a solution to do it. And if you do that successfully, that's how you get paid. People give you money for solving problems. That's what we do. But you have to remove your emotions from the equation. And I know that's really hard. And so we just mentioned this. We get paid for bringing value to the marketplace, but it takes time to bring value. And we don't get paid for our time, we get paid for the value. Just because you spent 5 months showing houses to a client doesn't mean that you should be paid 5 times as much on that deal. You get paid for the value you bring, so you've got to bring as much value as you can. And this is another great quote I found. Effective communication is 20% what you know and 80% how you feel about what you know. Most of us know what to do, right? You run into a problem in a deal. The home warranty, the dreaded home warranty. I did not write down who is going to pay for this home warranty. Did I send an email? Did I call someone? Who is going to pay for this? You all know who's going to pay for it, right? Somebody's going to pay for it. But if I say, Ruthie, you know you're supposed to pay for this home warranty, and I can't believe you are just denying this fact. That's not going to get anything accomplished. I say, Ruthie, I feel really bad. I didn't keep a good record of who was supposed to pay for this. And, I recall that we agreed that you or your client were going to be responsible for the cost of this home warranty. Now, I'm shooting off the cuff here. That may not be the best response, but you've got to express how you feel about the right thing to do, And then it's on that other person to determine if they want to do the right thing. And you always go back to, if it's not in writing, it's pretty hard. You really don't have a lot to stand on. So if you can get better at communicating how you feel about what you know, you have a better chance of cooperating with another agent. And unfortunately, Winston Churchill said it very well. A lie gets halfway around the world before the truth has a chance to put its pants on. We love working with every one of you. And you need to make sure other agents love working with you. You want to be easy to work with. Be the agent that everyone wants to work with. They can't wait to bring you a deal on your listing. They can't wait to get an offer from you to purchase their property, purchase their listing. We can't control what our clients want to offer. We can only advise them. We advise them on what to list their house for. But I can't tell you how much easier it is when someone's trying to cooperate with you on a deal and they know that you're going to do your best to be easy to work with so that the buyer and seller don't end up in separate rooms at the closing table. Because that is not how we want these relationships and experiences to end. We want them to be a great experience. We want to be easy to work with. So be the agent that everyone wants to work with, and you will have a very long and successful career, because I promise if you are, and I've heard y'all say this, God, I love working with so-and-so. They just make it so easy. Everyone says that about y'all too. But if some point we don't become easy to work with, and we know that there are some agents out there that are, that word spreads so fast. And then it's so much harder to cooperate with another agent on a transaction. So be the agent that's easy to work with. Everyone wants to work with you. And we love working with y'all. We appreciate the opportunity to work with you today. Hope y'all have a great one.